some of these are very short, so you probably won't have time to turn to them, but are they all going to be up there? Okay. All right, so let's look at the first scripture is from Ecclesiastes 3:1, and that's kind of my main scripture for today. So let's everyone read it together, and I've actually given him this, which translation, so that maybe we can follow it on the screen or the wall. Okay, Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heavens. And as long as I can remember reading the Bible, teenager or even younger than that, when I started going to church, I remember that passage of scripture from the King James Version. And what I want to do is just kind of give you some information. Kind of started out with a little bit of something that might make us think where I'm headed with this. And this is what, I'm going to read this from what Rick Warren actually said. He asked the question, why is Christmas such a big deal? Now, when you hear that, do you immediately get on the defensive? Why did he ask that question? It's the largest celebration around the world each year. Other holidays get a single day, but Christmas is emphasized for an entire month, 1/12 of every year. During the Christmas season, billions of people set aside their normal routines to decorate their homes, send out greeting cards, buy gifts, go to Christmas parties, attend church services, sing Christmas songs, watch Christmas TV specials, and travel long distances to be with their families. Christmas sights and sounds fill the air everywhere. There are stores and even careers that are exclusively dedicated to preparing for and celebrating this holiday. When Christmas comes, you can't miss it. It's everywhere. And then he says, if you stop to think about it, it is astounding that the simple, unassuming birth of a peasant boy born 2,000 years ago in the Middle East has caused such commotion. His birthday even causes traffic jams today in places like New York City, Tokyo, and Rio de Janeiro. You may have never realized that every time you check your calendar or refer to a date or write one down, you are using Jesus Christ as your reference point. Because of Jesus, history is divided into BC, or before Christ, and AD, Anno Domini, in the year of the Lord. Every other event in history and every event on your calendar today is dated by how many days and years it has been since Jesus Christ appeared on earth. Even your birthday and my birthday is dated by his birthday. The night Jesus Christ was born in Bethlehem, a small group of poor shepherds were quietly attending their flocks of sheep in a nearby field. Looking up at the stars, nothing seemed any different from 1,000 other nights. But what was about to happen would transform not only the shepherds' lives, but billions of lives as well. The world would never be the same. Suddenly, a bright light lit up the sky, and an angel from God appeared above them and began speaking to them. It seemed unbelievable, and it scared them. And so the Bible gives us the original Christmas story about what happened that night out on that hillside. There were shepherds living out on the fields, nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is Christ the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger." Suddenly, a great company of the heavenly host appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to men on whom his favor rests." And that's from Luke 2, 8 through 14. The angel said that Christmas would bring great joy for all the people. Really? Do you think people think that today? For many people, getting ready for Christmas seems more of a hassle than a source of happiness. It is a source of stress. They feel pressure, not pleasure, when it comes to Christmas. It's a duty, not a delight. They endure Christmas rather than enjoy it. There are many possible reasons you might feel uneasy and lonely or even depressed during the Christmas season. You may dread spending time with oddball relatives. Maybe relationships are strained and uncomfortable in your family. Maybe you don't have anyone to be with this Christmas. Christmas may remind you of losses or hurts or how things have changed. You may have a religious background that doesn't include Christmas, or you may have no faith at all. Watching others celebrate may make you feel uneasy. Maybe you're just exhausted and worn out from all that's happened in your life this past year. This Christmas, God cares deeply about how you feel, and so do I. It's why he wrote this book. Regardless of our background, religion, problems, or circumstances, Christmas really is the best news we could get. Beneath all the visible sounds, sights and sounds of Christmas are some simple yet profound truths that can transform your life for the better here on earth and forever in eternity. Right now, there's nothing more important for you to understand than the implications of Christmas for your life. If you'll slow down for a few minutes, take the time to pause and consider the purpose of Christmas, you can receive and enjoy the best Christmas gift you'll ever be given. It is God's Christmas gift to you. God's Christmas gift to you has 3 qualities that make it unique. First, it's the most expensive gift you'll ever receive. It's priceless. Jesus paid for it with his life. Second, it's the only gift you'll ever receive that will last forever. And finally, it's an extremely practical gift, one you'll use every day for the rest of your life. It's no accident that I'm sharing with you this today with you. God planned your birth, and before you were even born, he knew this moment was coming. In fact, it may be that your whole life up to this moment has been preparing you to receive God's Christmas gift to you. On the first Christmas night, the angel announced 3 purposes for the birth of Jesus. I'm going to cover each of these 3 purposes. The first one is Christmas is a time for celebration. And Christmas is a time for salvation. And Christmas is a time for reconciliation. Christmas is a time of celebration. In our scripture from Psalm 118:24, and this is the King James Version, it says, "This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will be glad and rejoice in it." And you know, we could say that every day of the year, couldn't we? But we really need to think about that on a daily basis through the Christmas season. It's bothered me over the years to hear Christian people say, "I just can't wait till Christmas gets over. I'm so tired of all this, the shopping and everything, and trying to get the decorations up." And you know, I hear Christian people say that. And it really disturbs me, because I'm thinking, they're not really pondering what is it all about. And so it is a time for celebration. And the good news of Christmas is worth celebrating. It is personal. When you think about what the angel said, "I bring you," and it's positive, good news of great joy. And it's universal, because it's for all people. It doesn't matter who we are, what we've done, where we've been, what lies ahead for us. We don't know. As we're sitting here today, we're standing here today, we don't know. But we need to celebrate that part of our lives on a daily basis by saying out loud, God loves me. God is with me. And God is for me. And I'm going to touch on a few things about those three things in talking about God's love for us. So I want to talk first to you about the most famous statement in the Bible. God loved the world so much that he gave his one and only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will not perish, but have eternal life. And you know, the entire reason for Christmas is the love of God. It may be a different reason for other people, but for those of us as Christians, that's what we need to think about. God loves you. He loves me so much that he came to earth as a human so that we could get to know him and learn to trust him and love him back. God became one of us, a human being, so we could understand what he is really like. God has given us, as human beings, the capacity to know him in ways that no one else can. No other living creature can really understand what God's all about except those of us who are humans. And so it doesn't matter who we are or what we've been or anything like that. This news is for all of us. And so I want to just kind of share a little bit with you that a little bit from the book and some of the things that I've written down. But the Bible tells us that God is love. And it doesn't say God has love, but God is love. Love is the essence of God's character, and it's his very nature. And Rick Warren said, think about this. If God didn't want you to love something, he would not have created it. Everything you see and the trillions of things you can't see was made by God for his enjoyment. He loves it all, even when we mess it up with our sin. And then God is with me. And that's something that I think it's good for us to always know and always feel that God is with me no matter where I am, what I'm facing, what I'm having to endure in my life, the good times, the bad times, that God is with us. And in Psalms 137, David says, I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. Sometimes babies are given 2 or 3 middle names to honor relatives. God commanded that Jesus be given several names to explain his purpose for coming to earth. And one of Jesus' names is Emmanuel. It means God is with us. So when we sing that song, Emmanuel, Emmanuel, we're saying God is with us. And so, you know, I don't know about you, but if there are times that you have fear in your life, when you feel God close to you, don't you feel that fear just going away? And because we know that God's presence is greater than any panic that we might endure, and the things that might make us wonder what's going to happen or what can I do. But one of God's great promises in the Bible is from Isaiah 43, verse 2, and he says, when you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you. So we know now, we've said God loves me and God is with me, but also it's a time to celebrate that God is for us, for each one of us. Many people feel that God is secretly out to get them. And I've never felt that way. I've never felt like that God was just trying to get back at me for something I've done wrong. I've always just felt like and known that he was there for me. But if we look at Jeremiah, and these are just short passages, so you probably won't have time to look them up. But if Jeremiah 29:11, it says, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. No one wants best for you or me, for any of us, more than God does. No one knows better what will make us truly happy. God doesn't want us to be afraid of him. He wants us to run to him, not from him. In fact, how many days are there in a year typically? Typically, without the leap year, how many days? 365 days. Do you know that in the Bible, 365 times God says, don't be afraid? So if we would wake up every morning and before we even get out of bed, God's telling me, don't be afraid, because we never know what we're going to have to deal with. But fear not, for every day of the year is what he's really saying to us. So what are we afraid of? None of us knows what we'll face today, tomorrow, next year, but we can know that God loves us, God is with us, and God is for us. So those are three things that we need to always think about. And I want to share again something that Rick Warren says. So where does our fear of God come from? There are two sources: a guilty conscience and ignorance of what God is really like. 1 John 4:18, the Bible says there is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. But God is not mad at us. God doesn't get mad at us. He's mad about us. And have you ever heard anybody say, "Oh, I'm just mad about," some girl might say, some teenager, "Oh, I'm just mad about him." And but anyway, God kind of feels that way with us. And in John 3:17, God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world. So if you study the life of Christ, you'll quickly see, and I think we all have studied the life of Christ, you can make a mistake, but we can know that Jesus is not going to rub it in. He's going to do whatever he can to bring us to him so he can rub out those mistakes that we've made. So Jesus came to save us, not to scare us. It's a reason to celebrate. So Christmas, now we're going to another part. So we've talked about the celebration, and Rick Warren said, generations come and go. My parents are now in heaven, but in a world where everything constantly changes, the stability of our family faith in Christ has enabled us to face the inevitable problems of life. Cancer, death of loved ones, unemployment, marriage problems, family conflicts, financial difficulties, and all sorts of stresses and strains. No matter what you are going through this Christmas, try celebrating the real thing, what Christmas is all about. That will make a difference. So now we're going to look at how Christmas is a time of salvation. And our scripture for that is, "But when the set time had fully come, God sent his Son, born of a woman, born under the law." And that's Galatians 4:4. So salvation is usually defined as deliverance from sin, self, and hell. And when we think about that, being saved means we are not only saved from something bad, we are saved for something good. Being given the freedom and power to fulfill God's purpose for our lives. The announcement of salvation was the angel's second declaration of good news to the shepherds that first Christmas. Luke 2:11 says that the angel says, "Today there has been born for you a Savior who is Christ the Lord." So Jesus came as a personal Savior for all of us. He didn't come as that king that back in Old Testament times thought would come and take care of the whole world, as far as reaching out and destroying our enemies and things like that. But he came to be our Savior. Have you ever asked someone if he or she has been saved, and then maybe that person asks what are you referring to? Somebody says, have you been saved? Has anybody ever asked you, what does that mean? There are probably a lot of people in this world that don't know. But being saved is more than being saved from hell. And our gift of true salvation is freedom, purpose, and life. And I like to do this. I can kind of give you a little bit deeper information in this, but from Rick Warren, it says, let me be blunt. You are the source of most of your problems. We try to blame it on everybody else, don't we? But usually it's our own cause. Even when other people cause you problems, your natural response often makes them worse. You tripped yourself up far more than you realize or you would like to admit. If we're honest with ourselves, we'll admit that we have habits that we can't break. Thoughts we don't want, emotions we don't like, insecurities and fears that we can't hide, and regrets and resentments can't let go of, and say things you later wish you'd never said. Frankly, we are the problem for each one of ourselves. For change to happen, it must start in the heart. And I know we've all heard this. We are born with an I problem, and that doesn't mean this. That means I. We are by nature self-centered. Would we admit that to people? Would we even admit that to ourselves? I'm sure those of you who are parents can say, yeah, I can tell you that's true because I have children. But the thing of it is, we don't have to be taught to be selfish. That's something we learn. It's like little kids. And I was with Paul's family, and all together we had 7 fairly young ones. The oldest one is 8. The youngest one is like 6 months. And I could even see it in the ones that don't even talk. When somebody picks up their toy or something, it's and reaching for it. If they're a little bit older, they say mine. And we see them get upset if another child wants to play with their toy, even a sibling. So we are born with that selfish attitude in our lives, and it comes naturally. But our natural inclination is we want our own way instead of God's way. This tendency to make wrong choices instead of right ones is called sin. So what's the middle letter of the word sin? I. The middle letter of the word sin is I. So it comes back to what was said earlier. Whenever I place myself at the center of my life, I sin. It is an attitude or action that denies God his rightful place as first in my life. Sin is our greatest problem, and it isn't just right here in Parkersburg. It's universal. Ecclesiastes 7:20 says, not a single person on earth is always good and never sins. And then Romans 3:20 says, for all have sinned, and we know this scripture, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. We don't measure up to our own imperfect standards. We should never try to measure up to that, much less God's perfect one. This is not a popular concept, but then it's not exactly news either. Unless you are in total denial, you know that you make wrong choices. I make wrong choices all the time. And many times it's because we don't ask God first. What should I do about this? The Bible says, 1 John 1:8, if we claim we have no sin, we are only fooling ourselves and not living in the truth. If we claim we have not sinned, we are calling God a liar. What's worse is that sin is habit forming. So, Paul wrote in Romans 7:15, I don't understand myself at all, for I really want to do what is right, but I can't. I do what I don't want to, what I hate. I know perfectly well that what I am doing is wrong, and my bad conscience proves that I agree with these laws that I am breaking, but I can't help myself. So I don't know how many of you have, I'm sure you've read this, but even Paul was frustrated. Even Paul struggled. Our actions, both conscious and unconscious, shout out, I don't need God. I want to run my own life. And I want to be my own God. And I'm sure that if you were to think about it, you might say, no, that's not me. I'm not like that. But when we're not listening to God and we're not obeying Him, that's what we're saying. I don't need God. I want to be my own God. I'm going to do what I feel like doing. And that war with God creates enormous conflict and stress to all of us, to your mind, to your body, and to your relationships. This attitude of prideful self-will causes us to be disconnected from God and feel distant from Him. And I think sometimes we use the excuse, well, I don't know what's going on. I can't even feel God near me. So why is he not here? So who's pulled away? Who has pulled away from God? It wasn't God. It was us. The Bible says in Isaiah 59:2, the trouble is that your sins have cut you off from God. It's something to really think about, isn't it? Have you ever really thought about when I don't feel God close to me, am I the one that pulled away? Because God's not going to pull away from us, is He? So I read the part about what Paul had said, and then also in Isaiah. And now, we need to get into the Psalms and think about what is said in there. And in Psalms 118:5, there's something that David said, I was in trouble, so I called to the Lord. The Lord answered me and set me free. That's all we need to do. David is saying that's all we need to do. And the thing of it is when we do that, we are free from guilt over the past, the things that we might have done that have really made us feel like I'm just, it's just God. It's not me. But we need to understand that God is there for us. And when Jesus died on the cross, He paid for everything that each and every one of us has done wrong or ever will do wrong. So we need to understand that we can be free from guilt over the past. And then the thing of it is too, is we can be free from bitterness and resentment, and we can be free from expectation of others. And sometimes other people can make us feel like we're unworthy, or that we're not doing anything like we're supposed to do on our job. Have you ever had anybody try to make you feel like that you're worthless? That happens to many people. So the first question sometimes we ask is, why am I alive? Why am I alive? if I have to go through all these things? Or sometimes we'll ask another question. So does my life matter? Am I significant? And then the third question is, what is my purpose? What is the intention for my life? Ephesians 1:4, we hear long before he laid down earth's foundation, he had us in his mind, had settled on us as the focus of his love. But here's the problem. Everyone has strayed from God's intended purpose for our lives. The Bible says we, all like sheep, have gone astray. And a lot of times we don't want to admit it, and we would say, well, it was somebody else's fault. But the thing of it is that God has sent his son to us. So David served God's purpose in his generation, and then he died. And then he served God's purpose. What that means is, we will die. But we need, while we're alive, to serve our purpose that God has given to us. And then I don't want to keep, I don't want to keep us here too long, but I want to share a couple of other things. But imagine what might be on your tombstone. I just got the marker done for me and Paul. It's going to be a double marker. It's a flat marker. And, you often wonder, what if somebody else wrote my epitaph? Well, I wrote Paul's, and my niece Sherry and our friend Kathy wrote mine. I didn't tell him what to write. I knew what I was going to write about Paul. He never told me what to write about him. But the thing of it is that what if we had all of us had on our tombstone, mine was a purpose-driven life, thanks to God's presence in my life. What would that say to people that might walk by that tombstone, that marker, and see that? In Romans 6:13, it says, God, give yourselves completely to God, every part of you, for you are back from death, and you want to be tools in the hands of God to be used for his good purpose. Nothing compares to the thrill of being used by God for a great purpose. It's not anything that we do to be noticed or to be thanked and being given awards. But the thing of it is just to know that what we do in our lives is for his great purpose. And we can do that. But very often, and this is where I want to go to the last section in my message, is Christmas is a time of reconciliation. Romans 5:11. Rick mentioned something that I think kind of goes along with that scripture when he said that one reason for conflict is a natural self-centeredness where we want everything our way. Then our agenda clashes with others. If there is no willingness to compromise out of love, then clash only gets worse. Rick Warren said his first clash with his wife was on their honeymoon. So the very first Bible verse they learned on that honeymoon was to memorize Proverbs 13:10. Only by pride cometh contention. He wrote that they needed that verse a lot. So sometimes we can have too much pride in what we're doing in our lives, and we think we're so important that we have to be the one to do something, and that I can do it better than someone else. And that happens. That happens in the church, people. That, people think I do a better job, and if I can't do that, then I'm not going to be here. And so we see that it's just a part of our lives. So, and we have that. There's a conflict in expecting people to meet the needs in our lives instead of us trying to do that. Only God can meet those needs. No human can fully meet our needs. Only God can do that. And I want to look at a passage of scripture, James 4, verses 1 through 2. What causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within you? You want something but don't get it. You kill and cover, but you cannot have what you want. You quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. If you prayed as much as you complain, or any of us do that, and quarrel, we'd have a lot less to argue about and much more peace of mind. And then Paul in Philippians 4, 6 through 7 said, the apostle, do not worry about anything, but pray and ask God for everything you need, always giving thanks. And God's peace, which is so great we cannot understand it, will keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. When we choose to disobey God, we are at war with God. We may not want to admit that. The symptoms of this war are, and think about it, does this describe me or somebody that I have to live with or be around? So symptoms of this war of disobeying God are irritability, a quick temper, arrogance, boasting, holding grudges, and many other attitudes and habits that we find in the Bible as work of the flesh. And of course, we've heard this before. I've even preached from this before. But Galatians 5:19 through 21. It is obvious what kind of life develops out of trying to get your own way all the time. Repetitive, loveless, cheap sex, a stinking accumulation of mental and emotional garbage, frenzy and joyless grabs for happiness, cutthroat competition, all consuming yet never satisfied wants, a brutal temper, and impotent to love or be loved, divided homes and divided lives, the vicious habits of depersonalizing everyone into a rival, uncontrollable addiction. And that came from the Message, so that is paraphrased. And then we've always, we've been hearing about the fruit of the Spirit. The Bible calls these things, when the Holy Spirit controls our lives, He will produce this kind of fruit in us: love, joy, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The good news of Christmas is that Jesus came to be the bridge of reconciliation between you and God, and between us together and God. The Bible says God was in Christ, making peace between the world and Himself. In Christ, God did not hold the world guilty of its sins. That's 2 Corinthians 5:19. And then on in Romans 5:10. Even when we were God's enemies, He made peace with us, because His Son died for us. Yet something even greater than friendship is ours. Now that we are at peace with God, we will be saved by His Son's life. And we read the book of Job and we talk about what Job went through, but Job's friend said, stop quarreling with God. If you agree with Him, you will have peace at last and things will go well for you. So I think sometimes we do tend to try to argue with God. And once we make peace with God, then we're going to be able to experience the peace of God in our hearts and in our minds. The more we pray, the less we'll panic about things. The more we worship, the less we'll worry. We'll feel more patient and less pressured. In the Bible, in Isaiah 26:3 says, "You, Lord, give true peace to those who depend on you because they trust you." So this morning, I want to ask you, what robs you of your peace? Most of the culprits that do that fall into three categories that most of the times are uncontrollable circumstances, like illnesses, deaths, and layoffs. Sometimes it's unchangeable people. You can't do anything with them. You can't change people. You refuse to cooperate with your plan to change them. Unexplainable problems when life seems unfair. People respond to these peace robbers in one of three ways. They try hard to control everything. They simply give up with fatalistic attitude. Or they gain true peace of mind by responding to situations the way Jesus did and depending on his Spirit to empower them to do that. I know you've heard that Serenity Prayer by Reinhard Niebuhr, but we've only heard the very first 4 lines of that. And I'm going to read this because I love it. I love this prayer. But I want to read this prayer in its entirety so that you can see there's more to this prayer than most of us have ever heard. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, and this is the part that most of us don't hear. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardships as a pathway to peace, taking as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever in the next. The path to the peace of God comes through living and enjoying one day at a time, accepting what we cannot change or that cannot be changed, worrying about it. We don't need to be doing that. What we need to do is to trust in God and surrendering to him the purpose that he has for us and the plan for our lives. And I think that the one thing that I wanted to really stress is through all of this, if we think about what God can do for us and will do for us if we surrender everything completely to him and not allow ourselves to be upset and get angry and things like that and have conflicts, if we listen to that, what joy can there be in our families, in our workplace, in our communities, and especially in our church. And we just think all this comes from the God who settled relationships between us and him, and then called us to settle our relationships with each other. And so when that time comes that something makes you a little bit angry, and you respond to it in a bad way, then just remember when Christ comes into your life, one of the first areas that you're going to see is a difference in your relationships. I put together something that I would like for each of you to do. And that is, where we get caught up in things and where it might go out of here today and just think, I don't even know whether I can feel like going back to church tonight. I'm wore down from this past week. But also, each day, there are things that we have to do. And are we spending time with God? Are we individually? Are we as a family unit? Are we spending time with God through this Advent season, which starts today? So I put together this calendar, and this for 25 days, beginning today, the first day of December through 25, I've got stars. And there is a booklet that's attached to it. And it actually, I got this information and I wrote it on there where it came from. But Gary Waller, Reverend Gary Waller, is an adjunct professor at Northwest Nazarene University. He served congregations in the Church of the Nazarene for over 20 years prior to his current position at NNU. And there, I have used most of what he has used in here. Each day there is a passage of scripture, and then there's a little bit to read. And I encourage you, if you're just by yourself, still do this. I'm going to. If you're a family, if it's just a couple, whatever it is, please take one of these, and starting today, do that. And when you get done, when you get down to the 25th of this month, I really hope that every block in this calendar from 1 through 23 is going to be filled with a star. When you do that, put a star in that day. So I think, Jennifer, you've got those. She's got those. And as we leave today, I encourage you to get it. It's just going to be one per family. So anyway, do you all want to get one to take to Mike? And then you want to go ahead and take one to them? Yeah. Okay, so make sure that they get one to take to them. But I encourage you to do that. And as we think about Christmas this time, think about this message and what God means to us, not what the store where we're going into and the gifts we're going to buy and what we're going to receive. That's good. That's a good thing to do. And it's a way of celebrating together as family and celebrating Jesus' birth. But let's celebrate it in the way that we need to do, and that's to draw closer to him. Let's stand. Our Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for this day, the first day of Advent, the day that we can begin each and every day looking over the things that seem so important to us and looking to the things that are important. And that is to trust in you, to lean on you, Lord, to give you our lives completely, and to each day through this Advent season to study your word, to think about it and pray and be with you. Lord, I thank you for those who've been here this morning, and I pray that you would be with us as we go from here and bring us back tonight as we have our program, Lord, and we have the different readings that are going to continue with the Advent and what different things mean through this Advent season. In Jesus' name we praise you. Amen.